Hey everybody, Jason and John here for Everyday Crypto, sponsored by CryptoTaxShield.com. Jason, how you doing?
John, I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's summertime and the living is easy. Uh, I wanted to get you on today. We're gonna take a little bit on this particular episode. I'm gonna take a little bit of a left turn, um, because I know this affects everybody, as does those of us in crypto. But Congress passed, I think yesterday, or the day before, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. So I was like, let's get Jason on. Let's do a little quick run through of what your thoughts are on this because I'm pretty I'm pretty fired up about it. So I want to kind of see where you're falling.
Where do I start? Well, I'll start with if you find any entertainment or educational value in this at all, please like and subscribe. Helps
Absolutely,
us help you. And we are not financial advisors. Always do your own research.
absolutely.
John, when I saw this, I almost saw it was a Saturday Night Live skit.
Not so lucky.
I really did. I couldn't believe it. Like I was just blown away. I had to read the whole thing. I was like, what was it? So yeah, they're giving away like $900 billion, and they're calling it the inflation relief package or something like that.
Yeah,
And the reason why it's so mind blowing to me is we got in this situation of out of control, historically high inflation rates by giving away free money.
hmm
And now we're giving away free money, and almost $1 trillion is an insane amount of money. I don't, I don't know if it's a money grab or if I'm missing something here.
yeah,
I know a big chunk of it's going to you know, the IRS, or they're hiring like thousands of new people or something, but
sure.
which is something America doesn't need more of anyways. But
Right.
so yeah, I don't know what to say about it, man. Like I'm just
Yeah, let me interrupt you real quick. Yeah, going to that because obviously we do crypto tax. Crypto tax shield is an affiliate of what we're doing here. I find that particular thing interesting, particularly with some of the flip flopping that is going on, because it is going to affect people that do crypto. It's going to affect S corps and C corps a lot, and it's going to affect. At first, they were saying nobody under 400K a year, but they've already flip flopped on that and said it could be anybody at any time, anywhere. 80,000 or 87,000 new IRS agents
it's crazy, man.
to the tune of like $90 billion. Yeah.
You know, I'm a student of history, especially economic history. Like I really find these things interesting.
Sure.
If you go through time, like and find like world global powers like Rome or Great Britain throughout history,
Right.
it's very interesting. Close to the collapse of those major players on the global stage,
hmm
their economies all start doing this very interesting thing where assets fluctuate greatly, and things you think should have value, like gold and silver, don't, but things that you would think shouldn't have value or other things are greatly overvalued.
Right.
And I can't help but to think that I'm starting to see these things from the American economy. I really am. Like the stock market and the crypto markets are they're unpredictable at this point. Like for example, crypto pumped super big this last couple of days because of the new CPI numbers came out, and they were expected to be 8.7, and they came out at 8.5.
Right.
And people went nuts and started buying all kinds of stocks and crypto. And I'm saying to myself, what's going on here? Like we just printed an 8.5 inflation number. A year ago, if that number would have came out, it would have been chaos in the streets, people jumping off buildings. Like that's an insanely high number.
Right.
And the other thing about that is that number's probably inaccurate. I mean, they fudged those numbers. I can imagine they're fudging those numbers right now because elections are coming up, and the Democrats need desperately for the Federal Reserve to in September to come down on the interest rate hikes in order to show some sort of bullishness
Right.
in the markets. And
Or more accurately, to buy votes. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Like as an investor, I'm watching this whole thing play out, and I'm just confused and I'm amused as well. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it fosters, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks just like us that it fosters a sense of of being not only helpless, but almost like we're just sort of, it's almost like we're being treated as a minor inconvenience and a necessary evil, you know? And I don't particularly like the feeling. And I also don't like the feeling, and I'm not picking on either side because at a certain level, it's really all the same, is that uh, when you start changing things, particularly close to an election, I have to just assume it's for the election, right? Like there was, the spokesperson from the White House came out the other day and was praising the fact that a household with two cars is now saving $80 a month in gas because barrels of gas, oil came down just a little bit. And I'm like, that's not helping. What you're doing is you're creating a problem and then offering the solution to the problem you just created. And I just wish more people would understand that, you know.
That's a great point, John. If I could paint a picture here and kind of give a cautionary tale.
Sure.
So we know elections are coming up. Democrats definitely don't want to lose across the board
Of course.
and give absolute power to the Republicans moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why they're doing what they're doing. And I can imagine when September comes and the feds come out, they are going to, it won't be I imagine it won't be a 75 basis point. It'll probably be like a 50 basis point.
Right.
And this will set the markets off. People will start investing, and the Democrats have a decent shot at keeping seats in the House, right?
Yeah.
But here's the cautionary tale. Inflation's nowhere near under control.
Right.
Like you need inflation to be around 2.5%. It's at 8.5%, and that 8.5 is, those are fudged numbers. Like
right.
Independent numbers come in way higher.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it when you go to the grocery store and everything.
Yep.
So after elections in November, you could see everything just absolutely going south real fast because the elections are over. The feds realize that they have to absolutely get inflation under control.
Right.
So they start increasing rates again. And also, that exact same time, you're looking at the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
And Europe is in desperate need of natural gas and oil, which they rely on Russia for.
Sure.
Russia's already turned off that pipeline for maintenance reasons, and when they turned it back on, they only turned it back on at 20% capacity, which seemed like a warning to Europe, to me.
Right.
And you can see where it's midwinter, and Europe has a natural gas and oil crisis. You throw on top of that a situation with Taiwan, where America just had to go over there, and Russia, China made it very clear: do not go over there. We don't want you over there. Like this is a bad sign. It makes us look bad.
Right.
And I'm American. And I love America.
Of course.
I just think the timing of this whole thing is. I mean, there's possible. Yes. There's possible black swan events that could pop out of this on what is already a super dangerous economic environment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're poking the bear. You're right, though. They're up against an election coming up. They're short on time, very short on time. That's going to be here in a minute, and it's just too out of control. It smells of desperation across the board, and I don't like being the ones that have to. The people at that level don't have to worry. Pelosi and some of those folks are worth $150 million. They can take a hit. You're doing well, but can you take that big of a hit? I can't take a big hit. A lot of people listening probably can't take a big hit.
Here's the thing about inflation. The rich don't get affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
It actually benefits the rich. They have the financial means to take advantage of the situation.
Sure.
Who gets hit is the middle class and the lower class.
Yep.
They absolutely get demolished.
Absolutely.
You can see this right now. Consumer credit is up considerably. Car repossession rates are up considerably.
Yeah.
And mortgage applications are down considerably. And this is the hype of the buying cycle for houses. Like usually right. June, July, August are the, so come September when people stop buying houses,
mm-hmm.
It's just, it's ugly. It's ugly. And I think people are trying to paint a pretty picture out of it.
Right.
But 20 years from now, we're going to look back on this time and realize how bad of a situation it really is.
Yeah, and I think what angers me the most is it's mostly unnecessary. You know what I mean? It's politicking, and it's backstabbing, and it's manipulation, and none of it's necessary. There's plenty to go around, and there's plenty of room to sort of innovate and do what you want to do. That it doesn't have to ever happen. Now we can't control the world. The world. There's supply lines and supply chains that can affect things. But at the end of the day, if they think that they can do things to manipulate us back into a good spot, stop manipulating us and getting us into a bad spot. Seems
It's
pretty
such
common sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a complicated game we're playing.
Mm.
I'm a capitalist at heart, right?
Sure, me too.
But capitalism is it's an experiment. It's a couple 100-year experiment, really.
Right.
And I remember out of college, I would ask people, "Hey, look, what happens when you're in a capitalistic country, but you have zero growth?"
Right.
Because capitalism only works when the invisible hand of greed is at play, and then there's growth. But if everyone's capitalistic, then everyone can't have growth. And we're seeing right now what happens when you don't have growth. So we've printed 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product, and we're seeing that this is how that feels. So I'm curious, what happens 100 years from now if capitalism is still a thing, or is there some sort of hybrid that comes out of it, or whatnot?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, and so to sort of wrap up on this sort of topic, just to, obviously we're not giving anybody financial advice, but some real world advice I would offer to folks that are on this channel and like this content is make sure that if you do engage in crypto, and let's hope you are, just make sure you stay compliant with the U.S. tax codes if you're in the U.S. There's going to be a lot more agents. There'll be a lot more digging. So just make sure that you're playing by the rules, and you should keep a lot of aggravation out of your life. So that's yeah.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
No, huh?
That's my dog.
Oh,
He's over by the door whining because he's so impatient. He's like,
oh, that's funny.
Let me out, let me out. Hey, man, just wait on. We'll get you. Relax.
He's tired of hearing about this topic too. It's like, he's tired of inflation. He's like, I'm out of here.
Enough of this economic talk.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Jason, I appreciate it, man. We'll do another one of these very soon.
John, I appreciate y'all as always.
You bet. Talk to you soon.
You got it.